Welcome back, folks. It's time for a quick intermission, and I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you about one of my favorite places to stay and play when I'm in Las Vegas, the Tops Casino. Now, if you're anything like me, you love a good casino experience. And let me tell you, the Tops has got it all. From the moment you step through the doors, you're greeted with the excitement and energy that only Vegas can provide. The slot machines are ringing, the dealers are dealing, and the drinks are flowing. But what really sets the Tops apart is their commitment to customer service. The staff is always friendly and helpful, whether you're a seasoned gambler, a first-timer, just looking to try your luck, or someone who has unfinished business to deal with. And the amenities are top-notch, luxurious rooms, delicious restaurants, and even a world-class spa for when you need to unwind after a long night at the tables. So if you're planning a trip to Sin City anytime soon, do yourself a favor and check out the Tops Casino. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. Today we have a very special guest joining us all the way from the Mojave Wasteland. His name is Benny, and he is a tribal chairman representing one of the 4 families that rule over the post-apocalyptic desert.
Thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Benny, I know you're a big shot in the Vegas Strip. You own one of the hottest casinos, the Tops. What's it like running that kind of operation in the post-apocalyptic world?
Joey, my man, you're asking all the right questions. The Tops, baby, it's not just a casino, it's a lifestyle. It's the neon lights in the darkness, the jingle-jangle of chips in your pocket. We got the best shows, the swankiest suites, and the hippest cats on the Strip. Sure, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, but inside the Tops, you're on cloud 9. We've got ghouls playing blackjack, super mutants sipping martinis. Ain't that a sight, huh? It's all about spreading the love, Joey. The Tops is where the magic happens, where the old world glitz meets the new world grit, you get me?
Absolutely. Sounds like quite the scene. Let's shift gears here. In your world, there's been some talk of these factions. The NCR, Caesar's Legion, and Mr. House. How do you navigate these political waters?
Well, Joe, you know, politics is a tricky game, especially when you've got a chessboard like Vegas. The NCR, they're a bunch of square cats who think they can just waltz in and take over. Caesar's Legion, well, let's just say they ain't big on democracy, dig? As for Mr. House, well, the guy's got a brain like a quantum computer, but he's colder than a Mojave night. My philosophy? I play my cards close and never fold until I know who's dealing. The Top stays neutral, baby. It's all about maintaining the peace and keeping the caps flowing. Politics is just the high-stakes game that happens between the spins of the roulette wheel. That's all.
Benny, that's a perspective you don't hear every day. This balance you're striking, it seems pretty tough. Does it ever worry you, Benny?
Joey, in this business, if you ain't a little worried, you're either fooling yourself or you're a fool. But worry? That's just another word for being prepared. Keep your eyes on the horizon, your piece at your side, and your hand on the chips, and you'll always be ready to roll with whatever comes your way. But hey, enough of that gloomy talk. Let's put on a record, pour a drink, and let the good times roll. After all, we're in Vegas, baby.
Fair enough, Benny. Now let's dive into something different. I've heard tales about these creatures called death claws. Are they really as terrifying as people make them out to be?
Oh, Joey, you're talking about the boogeymen of the Mojave. Death claws, baby. They're like if nightmares had nightmares. Imagine, if you will, a reptile that's taller than a Yao Guai, with claws that can tear through power armor like it's a pre-war suit. You hear that heavy breathing behind you in the wastes? That ain't no sandstorm, that's a death claw.
Jesus, sounds like the worst kind of monster movie come to life. Now, you're a man of style, Benny. That checkered suit, it's iconic. How do you manage to stay so well dressed in a world like this?
Well, Joey, here's the thing. In a world where everything's gone to the dogs, style is the one thing you can control. It's a statement, baby. It's about saying, I'm here, I'm alive, and I've still got it. This checkered suit, it's not just fabric, it's a philosophy. It's a way of life. You gotta dress like you're the biggest player at the table even when the chips are down. Especially when the chips are down.
It's a cool way of looking at things. So, Benny, have you ever thought about what's next? Any plans beyond running the Tops?
Now that's a good question, Joey. There's always a new game to play, a new score to settle. The world keeps spinning, even when it seems like it's stuck in the mud. Vegas. She's a dame with a lot of potential, and I aim to see her shine. Who knows, baby? Maybe one day there'll be more Tops lighting up the waist, bringing a bit of that old world charm to every cat and doll out there. But for now, I'm just riding the wave and enjoying the view from the top.
Now, Benny, I've heard rumors of these unique individuals in the Mojave, people like the mysterious stranger or the burned man. Side note, we've actually talked about the burned man with Caesar, and man was he apprehensive about it. Anyways, do you believe in these legends, or do you think they're just wasteland tales?
Well, Joe, I ain't one to discount a good yarn. The Wasteland's a strange place full of oddballs and mysteries. The burned man, that's a tale that'll give you the heebie-jeebies. Ain't no denying it. As for the mysterious stranger, I've heard stories. A shadowy figure that pops up out of nowhere, just in the nick of time. I can't say I've seen it with my own peepers, but in a world where folks rise from the grave, who am I to say what's real and what's not? You dig?
It's a wild world you're living in, Benny. I have heard of these creatures, too, called cazadores and night stalkers. You ever run into these?
Joe, those things ain't just creatures. They're living, breathing nightmares. Cazadores, they're like wasps on steroids with a sting that'll have you seeing stars. Night stalkers, imagine a coyote and a rattlesnake had a baby, and that baby had a real mean streak. You run into either of those, you better hope your piece is loaded and your aim is true, or you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Before we wrap up, Benny, I'd like to circle back to something we touched on earlier. The political situation in New Vegas with the NCR, Caesar's Legion, and Mr. House all vying for power. If you had to place a bet, who do you think will come out on top?
Joey, you know the House doesn't like to reveal its hand. But seeing as you asked, I'll give you my two caps. The NCR, they've got the numbers, but they're spread thin. Caesar's Legion, they're brutal, ruthless, but they don't have the hearts of the people. As for Mr. House, he's got the tech and the brains. But the question is, does he have the humanity to lead? It's a tough call, Joe, but if I had to lay down a bet, I'd say it's not about who has the biggest guns, or the strongest soldiers, or the smartest brains. It's about who understands the people of Vegas, who can give them hope, show them a future worth fighting for. And that, Joe, that's a bet that's still on the table.
Interesting perspective, Benny. It's clear that the game is still very much in play. Benny, once again, thanks for being on the show. It's been enlightening.
The pleasure's all mine, Joey. Thanks for having me. And remember, life's a gamble, baby. Always play your cards right and never fold until you know the game. Stay cool and keep those dice rolling.
Yeah, you did it, dude.
Let me tell you about our sponsor for today's show. Have you ever found yourself wandering the wasteland, parched and desperate for a drink? Well, worry no more because our sponsor has the solution. Introducing Sunset Sarsaparilla, the official beverage of the Mojave Wasteland. It's the perfect combination of sweetness and carbonation that will quench your thirst and give you the energy you need to keep trekking through this unforgiving landscape. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, is Sunset Sarsaparilla safe to drink? I don't want to end up with radiation poisoning. Well, let me tell you, Sunset Sarsaparilla has been thoroughly tested and is completely safe to consume. Definitely. In fact, it's so good, you'll forget you're even in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Another question is, Joe, hasn't Sunset Sarsaparilla stopped production since the Great War? The answer is no. The NCR is actively building new manufacturing factories in the West, and those factories produce many products. One of those products is Sunset Sarsaparilla, which means it's in production again. So the next time you're out scavenging for supplies, be sure to grab a cold and refreshing bottle of Sunset Sarsaparilla. And don't forget to tune in to our show for more exciting adventures in the Mojave Wasteland.